Hello guys and welcome back to TomTalks. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we're back today with a video on a movie that I saw recently, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I was really looking forward to this one, not as much as Spider-Man, but like Spider-Man was like, oh my god, this is going to be the greatest film ever. And it was the greatest film ever, but it was very, very good. I mean, I gave it a 10, so that's like very good. Whereas this was like pretty good. But I was hyped for this, and yeah, it was a good film. Drinking on the job, naughty naughty. But yeah, it was good, and I think it met my expectations. It had a few surprises in it. I kind of saw the direction the film was going in, but there was still some surprise in there. First of all, the star of the show is Sam Rami. This is his film. Like, this felt very unique for a Marvel film. It had horror elements in there. It was quite dark. Like, some of the deaths were like, I was like, this is a 12? Okay. And I think some people apparently complain about that, but if it meets the British Board of Cinema classification, or whatever they're called, then there's no problem there. If you don't want your kids to see bad films, don't take them to see it. But I think he did a top-notch job here. It was shot very well as well. It was quite well shot. That was cool. And yeah, I just loved the way he took it. And with every Sam Raimi film, there's a Bruce Campbell cameo as well, which I liked. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, or this, we're getting to spoilers here, so if you haven't watched the film, go watch something else. The Doctor Stranges, because there's the Doctor Strange at the start who tries to help America Chavez, played by Xochitl Gomez, who did a pretty good job. I liked her character, and she is a cool new addition to the MCU, who tries to kill her. Then there's the Doctor Strange we know. Then there's the Doctor Strange from the timeline of a group of people who I'll get to later. And then the evil Doctor Strange, who isn't the Doctor Strange from What If, which would have been kind of cool, but... And they do go into a cartoon universe, so maybe... Playing all those characters was Benedict Cumberbatch. He did a great job. I really liked this version of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a decent character in the film so far, and Benedict Cumberbatch is a good actor, but I felt like in this one, it felt like he had his own arc and personality here. And I just think he took the character in a more interesting direction and more like what I've heard in the comics, because I've not read the comics, but I've got a mate who's a massive fan of him in the comics, and this is kind of what I imagine he's like in the comics. The Sam Raimi effect, this film felt different. It was kind of bonkers, it was kind of crazy, it was gory as well. Not like too gory because it's like a 12, but you know, it was cool, and he got to do some cool stuff in this. He had cool powers. There's one of my favourite scenes in the film is he has a fight with the evil version of him, where they're throwing like musical notes at one another. Like, that's amazing, and it's like so unique. It really sets this film out from bog standard MCU film. Oh, he was good. Benedict Wong returned as Wong. He was pretty good. He's appearing a lot. Is he going to have a bigger role in this phase, I wonder? Because so far he's appeared in like the after credits scene of Shang-Chi. He was in, and he was also in the like film as well, like a cameo role. He was in Spider-Man, of course. He's in this. The only one he's not been in Black Widow, but Black Widow is like a prequel mostly. So yeah, I wonder if he's got a bigger role in this, but he was good. He had a bit more of a personality to him here. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda. Definitely her best performance in a film, in my opinion. I enjoyed WandaVision, and that was cool, and I enjoyed that. A lot of people are complaining like it kind of undercurrents her arc, but I don't think it does, because at the end of that story she gets hold of the Darkhold, and the Darkhold is like polluting her mind and that sort of thing. So for her to be the villain of this piece, I thought that was a cool direction, and it was nice to see a hero become a villain, because most of the time in this story the villains are all like evil, dastardly people, or like people with good intentions but the wrong idea. This was, I'm fucked up by the events of Endgame. I've just lost the plot. I think Wanda's art was very good in this film. I think she played well the villain role. where it was very selfish intentions, but not like she wanted to destroy the world or anything. I think her sort of dying in a pile of rubble was a bit kind of not great. It was a bit just like, oh, okay, is she actually dead then? Because rubble, yeah. I think there could have been a better death for her personally, but I guess she had to sort of realise the error of her ways because, yeah. That bit annoyed me. I'll also say, like, that end battle was so cool with, like, Doctor Strange taking control of the dead alternate universe version of Doctor Strange, and like the zombies surrounding him and him like taking control. That was cool. Shuitel Edge E04, I hope I pronounced that right, returning as Baron Mordo. And he was fine in this. He was decently acted. He kind of felt like a similar version of the character we'd seen at the end. It's a bit weird because normal MCU timeline version, this was an alternate universe timeline version, he doesn't turn up. It's just like he doesn't like Doctor Strange and he's been trying to kill him. It's like, have they just dealt with that off screen, or is he going to come back? I don't know. But he was fine in this. It was nice to see him, I guess. Rachel McAdams returned as Christine, and I thought she got a lot more to do here, which I liked. And I liked the chemistry between her and Doctor Strange. There was much more chemistry this time than there was in the last film. And I think it showed more the importance of her character than in that first film, where it's just like, Benedict Cumberbatch needs a love interest. Whereas this, it's like, it felt like they wanted to be together, but they couldn't. It was much better done here. The Illuminati. So if you're a big Marvel fan, you would have been hyped for this. And of course, we got Patrick Stewart back as Professor X. That was cool. And he got even like a newer version of like what his powers are like. We saw him inside someone else's head, so that was cool. Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt was in this, which I was surprised at. It was like the original actor from Inhumans, which people didn't really like, but that was cool. You had Monica Rambeau's version of Captain Marvel, and she was decent. We got Mr. Fantastic as well. He was, I think I've said that before. The fans got what they wanted, and he was cool. And we got Hayley Atwell as Captain Carter, which, yeah, she did that role. I do kind of like how they just got dispatched with very quickly. I think they were kind of there to show how powerful Wanda is. I do kind of like that. And I like that there wasn't too many, like, cameos, because I think that's what I was maybe a bit worried about it being a cameo fest, but there was enough in there for me to like it. And I've heard rumours of other stuff, like Ghost Rider and Tom Cruise as Iron Man, but you know what we got was cool, and it was nice to see different versions of those characters as well. Wanda's kids were in this as well. I think they did the job well. I thought this would be the way that they're introduced into the normal MCU timeline, but I guess not, but they probably will appear again at some point. Oh, and Charlize Theron appears in the end credits scene as Clea, who is apparently a big character in the Doctor Strange comics, so interested to see what happens there. And yeah, I think Strange's arc overall was good in this film. It's basically him realising that he is not the most important man in the world, and he has to learn to fight for others, not just himself. And I think that was like the main point of this film. I think it was done well. Overall, I thought this was pretty good. As for the effects it has long term for the MCU, probably not too much, really, maybe. I mean, the multiverse was already opened, really, by No Way Home. But I'm interested. Like, Doctor Strange at the end is kind of like, oh my god, he's got the third eye, like the evil Doctor Strange. But then it's like, an end credit, he's like, oh no, he's cool, he's off on an adventure again. I would like them to do more weird stuff with Doctor Strange. And I think this is the start, hopefully, of them doing more weirder stuff. As for this film as a whole, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's definitely in the upper tier of MCU films. It's better than your average one. I think there's Sam Raimi's direction, the story's interesting, the wackiness and the craziness going on is pretty cool. And overall, it's a very good MCU film. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5. 8.25, there we go. I'm going straight down the middle because I'm not decisive. But yeah, what did you think of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? If you wanted to let me know, put something down in the comments. And yeah, I'll leave a link round here to other MCU related review maybe. Until next time, folks, this has been another TomTalks.